Hello, hello. This is Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach, and I am super excited that you are here today. Again, for my listening folks on Clubhouse, this is Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach, and you are watching or listening to the Rebound Coach Live. I am very, very glad that you're here today. And someone asked me recently, what's a rebound coach? And so I say that when I do these lives, and I say, if you are wondering, who is this person that just showed up on my feed? Who is this person that's talking to me through the screen here? And what exactly is a rebound coach anyway? And I always figure no one really wants to know that. But someone actually asked me, what's a rebound coach? And so happy to share that with you. So I am a life coach, and life coaches help people get unstuck. So myself, I help high achieving women of faith who've lived through abuse, betrayal, trauma, and want to reclaim territory in their relationship with themselves, who want to love themselves, not again, but maybe even for the first time, and want to change the way their life is headed. And so today we're talking about 3 keys to breakthrough. And if you're wondering, like, what exactly does all that mean? And how in the world did you end up here? Why are we even talking? Why should I believe you? I understand. I am also that skeptic. So I get where you're coming from. Being in that breakthrough place didn't make sense. You know, for me, I came up with 2 godly parents. They loved God. They loved each other. They were married for a lifetime. So all sounds good, right? Except I was molested from the time I was 8 to the time I was 16. And that always affects how you see yourself, how you see God in a household of faith, and for me, how I related to men. And so fast forward, I was, I'm sorry, I was just distracted, right? Just for a second. Okay. So fast forward, when I met the man that I married and later divorced, I was definitely, there was definitely red flags there. There were reasons for us not to be together, but I believed that God was with us. And when I say that, I believed that God wanted us married. And because of that, I believed that whatever trouble came, we'd be able to overcome it. Sure enough, trouble came with the quickness. And never quite left. It was just kind of waxing and waning, and in a cycle of what I call coping in crisis, where you're like barely making it for a long time. And then there's this horrible blow up. And then you kind of get back into your coping cycle after the blow up. And then there's another blow up. And we did that for years. And come the end of 2019, things kind of came to a head. He left for another woman, and I found out him and that woman had been plotting my murder for months. And there's, as often as I share this story, I can't say that without like a pause, because it's real. It's not a story. It was my real life. And it was a really scary time. And, you know, your whole world kind of comes to a halt. You don't, your normal stuff, your everyday function, your everyday putting one foot in front of the other, just everything stops. And I was completely threatened as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, as a human being, as a child of God, just everything. Also as a coach, I had spent, and a lot of people do this. I spent a lot of time and energy crafting a platform, crafting a public identity, right? What I stood for. And I believed in it. It wasn't like I'm faking, but it was very much something I wanted other people to see and know about me, of what I stood for. And I spent a long time standing for marriage at all costs. I believed that that was the way to go. And I was helping other people. I was a coach and helping people stay married in difficult situations. That's what I had learned how to do. That's what I believed was the right thing to do. And I was helping other people do it. And it was crazy to build this platform, build this identity on staying married. And then your very marriage is the thing that is in pieces on the floor all around you, and everyone's about to find out. It's like the pregnancy that you want to hide, but you can't hide anymore because it's clearly going to show. That's about where I was with that. And so, you know, I had a choice to make. I could really allow the path I was on, the identity I had agreed to, that my former husband had created for me, and I said yes to. I could let that be who I was for the rest of my life. I could let it define me. I could let it confine me and tell me what I was allowed to believe, how many days I had left on the planet, and what I was allowed to do in the days I had left. Okay, because I was planning things like how to write letters to my children so that they knew how I loved them after I was gone. Like, that's how far it had gone for me. I could allow that to continue, or I could choose life. So by a dramatic and God-sent series of events, I'm alive, and my children are alive, and we're healthy, and we're growing, and we're thriving. And that's number one, only because of the grace of God. And number two, because I partnered to choose life. And so I wrote a book out of all of that, and it's called I Choose Life: Rewrite Your Love Story and Change Your Legacy. And not only is it a message for those who have lived through abuse and trauma in a marriage or a romantic partnership, but anyone who wants to change the course of their life, no matter where you're coming from and where you're wanting to go. If you're wanting to rewrite your story and change your legacy, this book is for you. You can find it at thereboundcoach.com/book. That is thereboundcoach.com/book. And you can find this book, and it will bless you. And I just want to share that people are getting breakthrough, which is the title of the room today, breakthrough from this book. And so I highly encourage you to pick up your copy. You can get an ebook, or you can get a physical copy, or you can get a physical copy from me, and I will actually sign it and mail it to you. So thereboundcoach.com/book. Wanted to share that with you because that is a powerful resource. Okay, so the name of today's live, the Rebound Coach Live, 3 keys to breakthrough. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, you know, we are all working towards something. We're all working towards something. You might not know consciously what that is, but subconsciously there's one thing or a series of things we are trying to get to. Most of the time we're trying to get to safety, whatever we consider to be happiness. Sometimes we think if I have provision, I'll be happy. If I have love, I'll be happy. If I have safety, I'll be happy, right? So however we interpret that, we're trying to get to that. Or peace. If I have peace, I'll be happy. Or if I have this, I'll have peace. Like, we're trying to get to something. Okay. Everybody's trying to get to something. Often enough, whatever we think would get us there, right? Whatever it is we think will get us there. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and it always distracts me. Okay. So we're fighting trials. We are moving through life, sometimes on autopilot, even trying to get to whatever's next. I know that in my own life, I have found that I'm kind of in a rush. Like, even I remember my wedding day, and I remember wanting to hurry up and get to the next part, like whatever that was. So, you know, in the morning, you're getting ready. I want to hurry up and get to the ceremony. At the ceremony, I want to hurry up and get to it's done. Okay, it's done. I want to make sure we sign the papers. Okay, we signed the papers. Okay, I want to hurry up and get to the reception. All right, we're here. I want to make sure we do all the stuff. Okay, we did that. I want to make sure we're cleaned up and then on the way to the house. Like, I remember there was just one moment in the ceremony, like one moment, where I'm like, man, I just got married. Like that just happened, because I'm constantly in this let's get to the next thing, where like the payoff is in the getting and not in the having. I don't know if that made sense, but like always trying to get to the next thing and not enjoying the thing you got to, like the last thing you got to, or the thing you're about to get to, like not enjoying the have, but always in the push, always in the do. And so when we go through trials, something that scripture says is, having done all to stand therefore. And so an extrapolation of that, or extrapolation from that, is, what are you standing there for? Right? We're all standing there for something. So if you're enduring through a trial, what are you standing there for? I can tell you, when I was suffering in my marriage, I was standing for what I believed to be righteousness. And the reward that I believed came from righteousness, right? I believed that if I did the right thing and I honored God in this way, he was going to reward me with 1, 2, and 3, right? Whatever that was. And so I think with ministry, which that kind of gets exalted, or just reward, like I'm going to finally be happy. He's going to change, and I'm going to have a pleasant marriage. I'm going to have a pleasant life because I stuck this out. Or God's going to honor me, right? So those are some of the thoughts I had, but I'm not by myself in that. There's many people, wives in my situation, who felt the same or similar. And so we're all standing there for something. If you're enduring any kind of difficult relationship, or if you're enduring a difficult job situation or business situation, like you're standing there for something. All right. So what are you standing there for? Now that you know what you're working toward, how do you break through those things? So these are, again, when I offer 3 keys to something, or 3 steps to something, it's not the only 3 keys. It's not the only 3 steps. This is not mutually exclusive. There is no way I can cover everything for you. Number 1, I don't know everything. Number 2, I couldn't cover everything for you in one live session. This is a conversation starter. This is just a few things to get your mind going. And if you are on this live on Facebook, you can join the Clubhouse after party. Go on the Clubhouse app and you can search the room, 3 keys to breakthrough, listen, then share, in the Sanctuary XP Club. Okay. And likewise, if you're listening to the replay on Clubhouse, you can find us over at facebook.com/the Rebound Coach. And all the lives are recorded there, not just today, but over the weeks. Okay, so 3 keys to breaking through. Often enough, we kind of feel like we're on this hamster wheel, where whatever we're pushing for, the more we push for it, the further away it seems to be. And eventually, you know, your arms get tired and your legs get tired and you're just tired. And it's like, okay, do I quit? I want to quit. I don't think I want to do this anymore. It's not working, right? All the things. 3 keys to pushing through. Number 1, and I almost made this last, but I made it number 1. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. This does not take into reason. So some people say, oh, you're in a hamster wheel because your goal is wrong. I'm not going to tell you your goal is wrong. I'm going to tell you that we all are, because the goal of what? Of peace, the goal of happiness or joy or contentment. I don't think the goal is wrong. Sometimes our means are misguided, right? Sometimes our means are, if I do this, I'll have love. If I have love, I'll be good enough, right? So what are we trying to get to? Good enough. How are we trying to get to good enough? With love, with someone else's attention, etc. So the good enough goal, not a bad goal, but we need to receive that rather than achieve that, right? So you don't achieve worthiness. We already have worthiness. We just need to receive that we have it, right? So different means, but the end is acceptable. That makes sense. Okay, so do it anyway. We can't win what we don't try, for sure. You miss every throw you don't take, right? That's the phrase. There's also this concept of seed time and harvest. So often, and there's even a meme of it, like a cartoon of the guy digging in the tunnel for gold, two guys, and they're both digging in the tunnel forever, and you see them like sweating and tired. And then the gold, we can see the side view where the gold is just a few more act picks away. And one guy is tired and quits, and the other guy just keeps going and gets the gold, right? We've all seen that. It's actually true. It's actually true. The difference is, it's not just about continuing to do the same thing. We go, we evaluate our results, we adjust, we keep going. We evaluate our results, we adjust, we keep going. We evaluate our results, we adjust, we keep going. This is the same in business. It is the same in a career. It is the same in your faith walk. It is the same in your parenting. It is the same in your romantic relationships, across the board. You perceive something, you're going for it. You make your actions, you evaluate your results, you make adjustments, you keep going. If you're not making adjustments, you're doing it wrong. Because making adjustments is what helps us learn and grow and try something new, not a different goal, sometimes a different means to the goal, right? I remember in therapy talking about how a part of being married for me was I wanted to appear loved, right? So growing up, I wasn't a popular kid. I didn't feel like there was a lot of approval for me. And so part of wanting to be married was to say like, hey, somebody picked me, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had that line of logic either. But the goal of wanting to be loved was not bad. The means thereof might not have been the best means to get to the end. Okay. So you made your move. You looked at those results. Do I like the results that I have right now in this area of life? Not so much. Okay. What adjustments might you make? Right? Adjustments to get to the goal, not adjustments to save ourselves from pain per se, right? Our natural tendency is to save yourself from pain. So the adjustments you make, save yourself from pain. I'm just not going to do it again because it's painful and I don't like the pain. So I'm not going to do that again, right? But then we also don't get to where we're trying to go because it takes risk to get there. Okay. So the key number one to breakthrough, do it anyway. There's seed, there's time, there's harvest. And the other thing to note here is we often don't get what we want, right? Or even our goal, whatever the goal is, we get what we think we deserve, right? So, and what we're expecting. So that's the same thing. We're getting what we're expecting, what we think we deserve, what we think is right for us, whatever that is, right? People who hit income ceilings are like this. People who self-sabotage in any area, if that's a relationship area, if it's your health, if it's your money, same difference. We have this kind of mental cap where our identity is in that area. And if we're not making those kinds of adjustments, we just cycle and recycle and recycle. Okay. So we don't get what we want. We get what we expect. And that leads into my next key, number 2, expect the great. And that takes effort, okay? Because normally we just expect what we've had before, okay? I know that I've done that, and I know it is a habit that I am actively breaking, okay? Just because that's the way it happened before, and even if that's the way it happened the last 100 times, does not mean it has to be the way it's going to happen this next time. I'm living that out right now. You have no idea. I'm living that out right now. I told God I was not going to do something because we know how this ends. It's going to end just like this, just the way it always has. And all my negative self-talk. And God's just over here blowing my mind like, what you thought? Okay. so all that to say, expect the great. Expect the great. Yeah, if you're going to get what you expect the great. And actively rewrite the thoughts that come up. Actively rewrite. What I did in that case that I just told you about, in my mind, where the thought came up, this is going to be just like before. This is going to be just like before. I'd speak out of my mouth. So the thought came in my head. I didn't have to say it because it was loud in my brain. But the words that came out of my mouth in that moment were, I choose to believe that it will be different this time. So check it. What I did not say was, it's going to be different this time. Why didn't I say that? That's the opposite of the negative thought, right? I didn't say it will be different this time because in my brain, I didn't believe that, right? So the affirmation was not the opposite of the negative. The affirmation was my choice to believe the opposite. That is an important distinction. So I want you to pay attention. When you are rewriting your negative thought patterns, you don't just say the opposite. So for example, if you're feeling unloved, okay, the affirmation would not be, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved. Even if that's true, and I believe it is true, right? We are all loved by our Creator and other people too. But if you don't believe that, if you have a hard time believing that truth, you wouldn't necessarily need to say that truth. You can say, and this is a stepping stone, an important one, I choose to believe that I am loved. So when the thought comes, I'm not loved, I'm not worthy, nobody likes me, nobody wants me, nobody sees me. When those are the thoughts, the words are, I choose to believe that I am loved. I choose to believe that I am seen. I choose to believe that it will be different this time. I choose to believe it will be different this time. Those are the things I said to myself out loud when the thought came, why are you doing this? You should quit. It doesn't matter. It's going to fail. It's going to fail again. I choose to believe that it will be different this time. And it's different this time. Ah! I'm kind of excited, actually. I'm kind of excited. So, step 1, 2, your breakthrough. Do it anyway. Step 2, expect the great. Rewrite the past with positive possibility. Positive possibility. Because you can choose to believe. And you are telling yourself, I choose to believe. Okay. Step number 3, or key number 3, and then we'll wrap this up. Key number 3 to your breakthrough is watch your mouth. Just like I just said, it's important. Your mouth creates your world. It really does. It creates your experience. It creates your world. Your subconscious hears you and believes you and takes action based on what you say. So even in light things, even in jokes, when we say, oh my gosh, that's so funny, I'm dead. I'm dead. Like people say that. They type it. They put little memes to it, little emojis. Please don't confess death over yourself. That's not a wise thing to do. We create our experience, right? Or, oh, I forgot, I must be losing my mind. Okay. We say all sorts of things casually, like they have no consequence, but they do. So even in the very light things, I want to encourage you. I want to implore you to speak life over yourself. Speak life over your dreams. Speak life over your future. Speak life over your family. Speak life over the people you love and the people that love you. You have that power. The Creator has given us creative power. He's made us in His image and in His likeness. We have the creative power that He has, and He created the world by speaking. We create our world by speaking, also by thinking. Okay, it's a thought, then it's words, and the words create. They create. So be careful of what you're creating. You know, do it. Be intentional about the world you create. Okay. So be careful what you're taking in. This feeds our thoughts. Okay. So this is a Hebrew season of Teshuvah. Teshuvah means to return, to repent. to realign. So we're realigning with God. We are returning back and correcting or realigning our relationship with self, our relationship with other people, our relationship with God, right? And this is just it's a time of introspection. It's a time of repentance. It's a time of fasting. And not just, fasting food, but being careful about the media we take in. I know for myself, I can, I scroll by like people want to escape from things. Me, want to escape from things. And we go to social media to do it. That's one of my things. And I see social media is good and bad, right? It's good for a lot of reasons. And some of the bad things, there's a lot of reasons for that too. To me, it's kind of like seawater. Like there's so much salty, right? So much water, but it's not satisfying water. It's entertaining water. You're there forever, and it's kind of noisy. So anyway, in a time of repentance and a time of contemplation and introspection and realignment, that noise is not a healthy thing for this season for me. So that's part of the fasting. So I want to encourage you in this time. It's a 40-day season. It started August 27th and goes through September 17th. And it's a very good time to realign. However you would do that spiritually, I just encourage you to kind of take inventory. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with God, your relationship with other people. What would you like to break through in those areas? Since today we're talking about breakthrough. What are things that you can do in spite of past failures? In spite of that, what are some ways you can adjust and keep going? Evaluate your results, adjust, and keep going. What are some things you can do to change your expectation? What are some things you can choose to believe instead of what you've already believed, okay, about those things? And then third, what are some confessions you can change out of your mouth? What are some things that you absentmindedly say? And I would encourage you too, because when we say things that we say them all the time, we don't even hear them anymore. Ask someone who you're close with. Hey, do I say negative things? And then be quiet. Just be like, do I say negative things about myself? Do I say negative things about my future? And just, listen to feedback and decide if that's something you want to continue to confess over your life. And so what we do about that, okay, so my fabulous bestie and I get to do an amazing thing a couple times a year. It's called Sanctuary Experience, and it's a 3-day VIP retreat for women in leadership, which is every woman, and women who want to change that legacy for themselves, who want to break through. Here's a major key, y'all. Nobody succeeds alone. No one succeeds alone. We don't get to do this by ourselves. You can survive. I think you can survive trying to be a recluse, but we don't succeed that way, right? And so I want to share a really short video, and then we're going to transition over to Clubhouse. A short video of Malikia K. Courtney, Coach MK, talking about her sanctuary experience when we wrapped in April. I'm going to share that with you, and I will be right back.
Malikia coming to you guys. Malikia K. Courtney. I just finished the most amazing weekend of service to women who are in leadership, who relentlessly, entirely give themselves to make sure that the world is spinning, their world is spinning, but who rarely take time to make sure it's spinning for them. That you cannot continue to overlook. If you know that overwhelm has you hostage, if you know that you have pain and trauma from your past that is constantly coming up for attention, constantly catching you right before you hit that level that you really want to get to, that ceiling just seems to get lower and lower, and you need help. to get past those moments, past that trauma, past that abuse, I'm here. I'm here to help you do that. You want your next level, and you know you need something maybe a little non-conventional when it comes to getting your relationship with yourself together, getting your relationship with who God is together. I offer you the opportunity to come get the help you need. Stop playing and pretending. Stop trying to be anybody other than you, because here you don't have to. With the sanctuary experience that came to creation literally for the purpose of making sure that we have a community to fall back on when we hit those moments of overwhelm and get stuck. September 16th through 18th, that weekend, you want to be here if you are a woman. And I consider every woman that is a woman in leadership. So connect with me, connect with my partner, Dallas Cohen. See the site, thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. That's where you're going to find out more details for that. Part 2.
Okay, so just like Coach MK said, you can check out the upcoming Sanctuary Experience. It is on September 16th, 17th, and 18th in Clearwater Beach, Florida. You can check out all those details at thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. You can get in touch with me at The Rebound Coach on Instagram and Facebook, Dallas Cohen over on Clubhouse. Or if you know Coach MK, you can get in touch with her as well. We have the honor of ushering women into healing, into breakthrough, into a whole new season of their life. And it's a sacred honor. And I'm so excited. It's coming up in 2 weeks. So check it out if you haven't already. And for the Clubhouse folks, I'd love to know, and if you're watching this replay on Facebook, put in the chat or put in the comments. I want to know what it is that you are standing there for. You know, what are you working on? What are you standing there for? And what resonated with you out of these 3 keys? Do it anyway, expect the great, and watch your mouth. What are the things that you're going to apply to get you to your next level? So thank you for sharing this time with me. I appreciate all of you. And until next time, folks, choose life.